ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's true. It's me, the real Don Fran. I'm starting the stream off this way without any charts to talk about two things. One, the fake me's are cloning like, is it Mr. Smith? Yeah, Mr. Smith on The Matrix. There is a lot of fake me's. Luckily, it's not AI yet, and they're kind of stupid. It's not hard to tell. At least I don't think it is, but judging by the amount of DMs I'm getting every day, maybe it is. The most popular one is Don Fran space shows. No, that's not me. And not to be mean, if you have questions, I'm all ears, but I'm not reaching out to find out if you have any questions. That's your job to ask me. That's why I'm the mentor. You're the mentee, okay? And 100% I mean that, because right now, I'm not even joking. Every day I wake up to probably 50 more messages of, is this you? And I find that funny because they're seeing the message and then going over to my name and clicking and saying, is this me? Well, you're messaging me on the other one, you know? Anyway, it's only going to get worse as AI continues, and I dread the day there is deep fakes with my voice, my face, everything, because to train AI audio now, you just need like 30 seconds of clips. We're at 30 seconds right now. We have 3 of those already, and you have my face, you have my mannerisms, you have everything. So it's gonna get rough. I promise you, this is me. Always wanted to be a mentee. Second thing, Tesla. Now, this is the Sunday stock talk, but I wanted to talk one thing about Tesla because I want to get it out there. Because now even Meet Kevin said this might be a bottom for Tesla. And I'm just going to let the record reflect. I called it much sooner. Much more accurately. Much better. You just imagine all the things, and I did it better. But I am going to share my charts because there's something I want to show off for Tesla. Let's get on to the daily. All right, so Tesla. Now we've had this absolute sell-off, right? And it was easy for the bears to come out, poke fun, make fun, because it's just been obliterated, right? Any few green days matched with just quite a bit more red. But we've spent a lot of time awkwardly, very sideways this last little bit. Now, this last little bit, the tail end of this downtrend, we had this gap down, this real, I don't want to call it capitulation stage, but it wasn't pretty for Tesla. It just, we melted down, we gapped down, sold off just a tad bit, gapped down again, gapped down again, gapped down again. And that's about when Elon said he's going to have an announcement in August. And all of a sudden, everybody bought like he was going to announce free food and water for the world. Like it was a gap and tiny go, gap and, well, whatever. Gap and go, like, and we just sent it. And I'm taking this price action in general. I'm not talking about any excuses. I don't care about the announcement in August. He just said one thing, and everybody bought like their finger was on the trigger, just shaking and ready. And they finally said, I don't care. This is cheap enough. Go ahead and get that position started. And then that's kind of how I'm taking this right now, because if you're following the money around, why did the money just come in so aggressively on this? And then if you look, some of you guys are probably, if you just like hold the S&P or anything like that, you're probably red. You've had some red days recently. Tesla's avoided all of that. So is it finally cheap enough that it doesn't matter? Like if I'm going to short something, if I'm going to attack a short or something like that, there's just better opportunities in other areas, and Tesla is just not there. Is that why it's the bottom, or is everybody ready to buy this? Again, kind of like when Palantir, all the news was don't buy Palantir. You saw institutional holdings like triple and quadruple while they're telling you don't buy it. So I want to say this, whether it happens this week, next week, a month from now, 3 months from now, this sideways action right here is suspicious at the very least. Now, when you see a move like this, especially with Tesla, maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, okay? Does that surprise you at all? Like Tesla, a stock like Tesla is sideways. Imagine NVIDIA just going sideways but not moving. NVIDIA does go sideways, but it has some pretty decent ranges. And now imagine a ticker you've never heard of going sideways. Wouldn't faze you in the least. But because of that cult following, because of the popularity, it's waiting in the S&P. I find it very odd that this thing's going sideways. And when it does break, it breaks one of two ways. I've been doing this 11 years, and those candles have not changed colors. It's been green or red every time. So yes, it does stand to say the tail side of this coin is it breaks down. But this price action, this section right inside here. Let's go. Oh, hang on. What is the? I always forget the shortcut for the inverted line. Alt V. My bad. So right inside I'm going to leave these lines up. Right inside there. Now, if we deleted that, if we just shrink that up, all we have is Tesla sideways. But then there's this little hiccup, like, oh, you found somebody. Someone's lurking in the shadows. Some movement. Hoping everybody forgets. So I'm taking this very seriously. I called the bottom of Tesla. That's my opinion. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Time will tell. I think some others are starting to. I don't know if I like that or not, giving their accuracy. But nonetheless, I just want to bring this to everyone's attention because something's up with this. Next thing I want to bring up while we're talking about the expected move for Tesla. Let's just bring up all the expected moves real quick. Okay, IWM 388, QQQ 742, SPY 625, Tesla $9.06, pretty normal. Meta 1432, Microsoft 983, Amazon 512, Apple 397, Google 457, Ford 41 cents, Palantir $1.03. Am I on the way? Okay. This is Intel at $1.20. AMD expecting $8.91. It's a little high for AMD, but actually twice as high for Nvidia. Nvidia's expected move typically in the 40s. Now it has had a pretty decent rise. That was in the 900s, maybe sitting at 1100. It is naturally going to be at 60s. Its earnings move was expecting $80 for that week. Now, I do know over the weekend he gave a keynote, the CEO gave a keynote speech. It was a lot of stuff you've heard at the GTC event about the robots have a place to train. Robots have a gym now. They can go basically work out and get smarter and better. How factories can be made there's the digital clone and then there's digital humans, and how they're going after that, which is, back to point one, this AI phase is going to get nuts. It's going to be awesome, but if I was a scam artist, just think of the numbers you could put out. I could clone myself, all the other YouTubers, and just make all kinds of videos, and I just have to ask AI, make it sound like this person. And then next thing you know, you'll be having Zoom calls with a fake me. How scary is that? So that's going to suck for anybody that does get taken advantage of like that. That's a little bit why I wanted to start doing. I want to do one locally, but I even thought about doing just live Q&As where I don't want to call it a financial meeting or anything like that, but I buy a bunch of food, we hang out, and everybody gets to ask me a bunch of questions. But I do think doing it live would be awesome until we start cloning people. You're buying me food? I mean, if you're going to come to the event, I figure I'd buy food. I asked this the other day, like, hey, where can I do this at? Someone said your living room. I'm like, nah, unfortunately, I'm not I get it. Uber's a thing right now. I'm just not going to have a whole bunch of strangers coming over to my house. But yeah, and no, it's not going to be, because another response was so in real estate we do a lot of like lender sponsor stuff. So lenders will come out and they'll buy the food and everything, and hopefully meet you and get you a home loan one day. It'll be none of that. It'll be just 100% just me. This can't be the real Don. He doesn't have his uniform on. The bunch of shirts he bought. I did buy 10, if not, it's more now. But it is Under Armour, so it's close. But I do have just a bunch of black Under Armour shirts. Not going to lie, I have no idea where they're at. How you buy 10 of one shirt and still don't know where they're at beats me. And maybe I'll go to Wisconsin and Colorado. We'll go on tour later. Florida's coming up. But for now, I just want to try it locally and see if anybody even shows up. The food better not be deli sandwiches or I'm murdering. No one wants that. That's like when you don't care about the people that show up. Either Chipotle's catering or some kind of barbecue like Jack Stack or something. All right, but anyway, let's get on to the... if you're in the local area, Kansas City area, and you have any ideas, let me know. If your friends have ideas, let me know. Oh, as far as the dollar goes, do I have any more money right now? This largely... If you want to know how good the food will be at the Q&A, it'll be really dependent on this position. I am short this. It does need to go down. It looks like as of the open, I have made some more money. Not enough. How far was Chicago from your house? 7-ish hours. 6.5. Going there, 6.5. Coming home, a little bit like 8 because of no one in Chicago knows how to drive. Literally no one. I spent an hour and a half in Chicago, and the maps. If you use Waze, because it tells you where the police are and everything, it tells you the speed limit everybody's going. I spent an hour and a half going 3 to 7 miles an hour. I walk that fast. Like when I want to catch my breath on the treadmill, I take it down to 6.5 miles an hour, and that's what I was driving. Anyway, still short this, still short the dollar, but we're in a weekly zone. I do like the fact that we kind of hit that zone, had a quick little hiccup, and we're kind of already testing it. Anytime we're talking about zones like this, again, it's not the level, but it's also how we get there, how we interact. So we hit that, right? We expected some green candles, and each time we hit it, it's just like imagine you're just weak, a little weak sauce, and you're trying to kick a door in. Eventually it happens. You just don't walk up and stomp your foot right through the door and knock it off its frame. It takes a while, but eventually you kick through that thing, and then we're off to the races to the south side. So still plenty of work for the dollar to do as far as it going down, but I'm hopeful. Matt says it's true. No one knows. And you were still slow with Waze? No, I wasn't slow. AI Don drinks Monsters too. No, and that should be one real clear factor. One, I'm always like rubbing my nose because I was hitting the slopes. I'm just kidding. There's always like a mustache hair or something touching my nose. It drives me crazy. Two, there's a monster in here. Now, if it's an ice cold monster, it's probably not AI, or the AI just figured it out because I just told you. Anyway, I genuinely need your guys' help with the fake versions of me. Even if they've never heard of me, just say, by the way, he's probably going to message you. That's not him. Trust me, he's not that nice. He's nice. He's not that nice. All right, the Bitcoin hanging outside a magic yellow box. Actually, as far as Bitcoin goes, we do need to keep an eye on this now, it looks like. Now, I draw these lines anytime there's just an inside range like that. So anytime you see two red lines, just know on some time frame, it correlates with a candle, and we've spent the whole time inside that. If I go down to the hourly, we'll see it chop around. 4 hour, might see some action in there. But one day, from here to here, all the other days, nothing in inside. So above this, we're bullish. Below this, we're bearish. And we've talked about that as far as, I've said this in the past few streams, bullish above this zone, bearish below here. Stands true. Looks like we're just hanging outside one candle now. If he doesn't make you cry, it's AI. Yeah. See, that's fair, though. The AI version might try to make you feel good and warm and fuzzy inside. The real version just wants to get to the point. All right, as far as the open goes, looks like we have a little bit of a mixed reaction. Okay. So we've been open for 2 hours now. Okay, so we opened up, went down, bought back, so we're green now. Quick little double check of that zone, and looks like we're up. Now, that was a very impressive ending to Friday. Anybody else catch that? Absolutely nuts. Now, Friday just went zone to zone. Like, if you just go out a little bit higher, we just blasted from one yellow box to the last yellow box. We just did it all in the last hour almost. We spent the first 2 hours prepping. Like if you're going to go to the race, let's say you're running track, or a 5K or something, you're probably going to run a quick little mile. You're going to cool down, do a stretch, and then you're off to the race. And that's exactly what it did. It looks like we ran the bell out, crushed that tape going across, and about to do it again. Bull spread on SPX. I'm watching your videos again. You think these equities are going to all-time highs, or was that a fake rally on Friday afternoon? I do think time will tell. I think you're right to ask that question, and I hate to say like up or down, right? Ultimately, that's the answer. One of two things. manipulation, or kind of like what I talked about with Tesla. They just had their finger on the buy trigger and said, just make it happen. Typically, if I see moves like this, it's either overbought and coming back down, or it's just the beginning. You don't just take off like this and then kind of tucker out. There was enough reason for, let's say, Goldman Sachs to say, all right, just market order this thing. Like, we tried our best to get as many shares as we could, but it's just not happening. Buy the rest right now. Futures contracts, SPY, whatever you got to do, just buy the rest of it and make sure that order fills before the weekend. And that's typically because it all comes down to, when you're managing money, it's not how much you paid, it's how much you will make, how much meat is on the bones of that trade. You know, like, let's say Goldman Sachs alone or BlackRock just hit market buy, just get us in there 10 trillion shares, and then it shoots it up to here because it just buys the order book. They probably don't plan on taking profit right here. At that point, they think it's probably headed to all-time highs. Like, there's some money involved that makes it worth getting in so aggressively, because they foresee, their whatever reason, thinks it's going to go up to here, maybe, you know, like the 5,400 level or something like that. Or manipulation, yeah, they do just drop it so they can just load up short and then send it back down. I gotta say, I'm leaning more towards the bullish side of things. I do think we probably get a continuation on this one. I'm wondering if it's a bit of a short squeeze. Very well could be, but why did they? What do they know that we don't, that caused them to just get so aggressively out of their short positions or into their long positions? Because when you see an order like that, that's a freight train. You know, again, they bought the whole order book. Whether they're buying to close a position or buying to open a position, they just said, we need 10 million shares, looked at the whole book and said, I'll take it. So, again, I'm sure some bear out there is probably drawing a trend line saying it's going to sell off. You know those bears that try to, like, speak it into existence? We'll see. If we break back below this zone, I bet we at least test somewhere down here. If we hold this zone, yeah, I think continuation. Are we going to see someone sending missiles overnight? Hopefully not. It was an 80-point rally in 2 hours. Yeah, now imagine you're a futures trader that likes to take profit at 10 points. Sweet. Look at you go. You super stud. You market maker, you. Just kidding. It wouldn't be a stream if I wasn't here to poke fun at the scalpers. Especially futures traders, because it's so easy. I think everybody that starts out futures just starts scalping. It's just so easy. It's so liquid. It's leveraged. If you can, you have to be able to afford it. If you can afford the take it easy play some zones, oh, you kill it. My feelings aren't hurt. All right, the S&P. Did we do the expected moves? Not yet. Hang on. While we're here, let's get these. Let's make sure these are all set up. SPY is 533.62, 521.12. Okay, so it looks like these are off just a tad bit from. So the truth is, I actually already did this, and then I guess it didn't save. My daughter had a basketball game, and I was already there doing it. And I could have sworn it saved, but it did not. SPY 625. Tesla's what, 906? Meta 1432. Remember when I used to have to remember all these just in my head? That was a lot. I like just writing it down on the screen. 6106. Amazon 512. Apple 397. Google, give me 1 second, guys. 457. Palantir 103. Intel is 120, just 2 cents off. AMD was $8, $8.91. All right. Let's just I'll move these. So if anybody has my charts, you'll have the expected moves. Last week's expected move was a rein it back in play. Make sure we're good, right? That's safe. QQQ 742, 742. Okay, we are rocking and rolling. IWM. Yeah, last week it had got outside, reined it right back in. Same with the S&P. Got outside the expected move, and Cody, where's Cody at? I know his feelings hurt because he likes to scalp. He's like, I made 4 points. I'm like Jason Bourne. I think that's what he said in the chat the other day. Anyway, he actually bought call options for the rein it back in play, and I'm curious if he just took full advantage of that, because that'd be quite impressive if anybody did. It wouldn't mean much if you just didn't, but that would be a lot of money on that one. Tesla, Meta. A lot of these are just revolving around zones. You sold at 50%. Come on. Oh my gosh. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. That would have been a very impressive. Not that anybody saw that ending coming, but that would have been a very impressive move. Apple's the only one not with the expected moves not at a zone right now. Looks like same with Google. Google's just waiting. Bullish above, bearish below. Okay, Palantir didn't get done. All right, so if you have my charts, your expected moves are now saved. Boom. And that is the white dashed line. All right, okay, so last but not least, let's recap everything. Short the dollar, probably along the market. NVIDIA. I bet NVIDIA is going to make it to one of these zones today. Today. Is NVIDIA up? One cool thing about... Uh-oh. Are we back? Roaring Kitty just tweeted the Uno reverse card. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is... It's the green one, so it's... The Roaring Kitty's back, so can't wait to check. Let's just see what let's see what Robinhood has NVIDIA at, because it has 24 hours trading. All right, GameStop is at 26.72. All right, NVIDIA is at 11.10. So NVIDIA is actually right now, according to Robinhood, you can buy and sell right now on Robinhood. 11.10 flat on the dot. Well, it was 11.10. 11.10. It jumped up 11 cents back down. All right, so we are right there. So a little bit of a green open. Congrats to anybody in the Robinhood trade, because right now it's at 26 bucks. Breaking that. Actually, let's go over GameStop right now, because I did not make a video last week. I told you guys I have GameStop now, right? I have 200 shares, and I have a new plan. So I was going to sell premium, and I was going to take that premium, and I bought more shares. So, like, I sold one contract, collected $100, and I bought 4 more shares. But instead of doing that, what I'm going to do, and maybe I buy some more shares. I don't know. What I'm going to do now is sell the contracts and buy a share of NVIDIA. So I'm going to use GameStop to buy NVIDIA. So I had... And to start things from scratch, I had sold the 35 puts to get in. So if you guys just know that I'm well in the money right now. Like, all right, trade's green. But I'm starting from 35 from scratch. So I sold the contract, collected $102 on that, bringing my average down. So what I did last week was I sold 2 of the 33 strike calls for this week. Now, I did collect 86 bucks per contract on those. So, what, 172 bucks total. So that's an NVIDIA share. Effectively bringing my average cost down again to, well, now I'll be selling the shares at 33. And if this sends it That'll be that. That's how I'll just end up getting out. I don't think this lasts, but if Roaring Kitty's going to start this stuff again, those contracts will be down, but I'm going to have to... I'll probably roll them 1 week and collect you'll still get a week's worth of premium each week. Volatility will be up substantially. I gotta say, for anybody that's bag holding GameStop, I know you're probably looking at this, and it has, yes, it went up, went sideways, right? Stayed elevated. Roaring Kitty started tweeting again, pulled back. Ultimately, it held right here. Now when they announced a share buyback, they completed the share buyback, which caused this push up. And now we got Roaring Kitty. So is it just going to be the next round? I get you want to hold it forever and it's a movement thing. But how long do you want to do that? How much does it hurt? And do you actually think it'll ever get back up to 125? Which got even harder now after the last shares that they just sold. Anyway, I don't care about the whole movement. I care about my account movement, and that's what I'm trying to show off and stress here. I thought it'd be a little bit longer because I kind of thought we'd be back to this nonsense. But if Roaring Kitty's back, or whoever bought his Twitter account is back, then it looks like we're going. But anyway, that's where I'm at right now. I'm going to keep making these videos as far as GameStop goes to cover just my average and what I did. Right now, I kind of wish I have 4 shares, so hopefully it goes to 1 million. 4 extra shares that aren't accounted for. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Do all the cool things, I guess, right? Hit the thumbs up, the like. Please let somebody know about the fake me's. If there's one thing I genuinely need your guys' help on, it's just letting people know that I'm not reaching out to them. I don't have that kind of time. I really don't. I would love to. I'd love to just message the world, see how they're doing, and make the world a better place. Unfortunately, I'm only half robot, and I'm not connected to the internet yet. So I'm going to wrap it up here. I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.